Module 15 Photographic Image Transfer Lithography. Apparatus and materials: lithostone, carborundum powder, medium and fine grain, rough file, litho-writing ink, glass marking pencil, black and colored printing inks, French chalk powder, rosin powder, Arabic gum, liquid, lithosponge, acetic acid, nitric acid, litho roller, magnesium carbonate powder, benzene or acetone. Carefully choose 2 lithostones. Wash them properly and remove all the dirt from the surfaces. Sprinkle some carborundum powder, fine scent, with few drops of water on one stone and place another stone on it. Photolithography or photographic image transfer lithography, also called optical lithography or UV lithography, is a printmaking technique employing microfabrication process to pattern parts of a thin film or the bulk of a substrate. This technique uses light to transfer a geometric pattern from a photomask to a light-sensitive chemical photoresist or simply resist on the substrate. A series of chemical treatments done on this later either engraves the exposed pattern upon the material or enables deposition of a new material in a desired pattern on the material underneath the photoresist. The root word photo, litho and graphy all have Greek origins and mean light, stone and writing respectively. Hence a name is formed from them, photolithography. This is a printing method originally based on the use of limestone printing plates, in which light plays an essential role. In 1820s, Joseph Niepce invented a photographic process that used bitumen of Judea, a natural asphalt, as a photoresist. A thin coating of the bitumen on a metal sheet or glass sheet or stone slab become less soluble where it was exposed to light. The unexposed parts could then be rinsed away with a suitable solvents bearing the material beneath, which was then chemically etched in an acid bath to produce a printing plate. Grind evenly until the old artist's drawing is erased. Polish the stone with slate. The light sensitivity of bitumen was very poor and very long exposures were required. But despite the later introduction of more sensitive alternatives, its low cost and superb resistance to strong acids prolonged its commercial life into the early 20th century. Take 2 containers with about half a liter of water in each vessel. In 1940, Oscar Sub created a positive photoresist by using diazone pethquinone, which worked in the opposite manner. The coating was initially insoluble and was rendered soluble where it was exposed to light. In 1954, Louis Plambek Jr. developed the diacrylic polymer letterpress plate, which make the plate making process faster. Though the printmaking process of lithography was invented by Alois Senefelder in 1798, it was in 1826 that Joseph Niepce, a French scientist, who produced the first ever photograph. This discovery led to the use of the half-tone process, which is the act of breaking down the original photograph into dots of varying sizes that would be suitable to press reproduction. Henry Telbolt used the first half-tone screen used for the reproduction of photographs in 1852. About 33 years later, Frederick Ives, an American, designed the first practical half-tone screen that consisted of two exposed glass negatives with lines scribed on each of them. They were then cemented together so that the scribed lines would cross at right angles. The history of lithography too. This half-tone process allowed the reproduction of original photographs without the need to draw or engrave them onto a printing plate. Add a few drops of acetic acid in one container only. Watch the stone alternating with both the solutions. This process is termed as stone-sensitive process. Lithography is a process by which images are photographically transferred to a matrix, either an aluminium plate or less frequently a stone, and then printed by hand. The French printers Alfred Limsier and Alphonse Poitevin first started experimenting with photolithographic techniques soon after the discovery and use of the half-tone process. Their early experimentations, however, were not reliable enough for commercial use. Photo engraving was the industry standard until offset lithography became commonly used for reproduction in the mid-1900s. Most typical black and white photographs are continuous tone, which means they are made of a full range of pure whites to deep blacks. Because most printing process cannot reproduce a continuous tone, it must be mechanically recreated. This half-tone technique can either be achieved by superimposing a half-tone screen over the image before it is exposed, or by creating a dot pattern when you print the image out from the computer to a transparent film. Photo transfer printing is also called gum arabic printing or Xerox litho. Based on the basic premise of lithography, in which water resists grease, oil, or wax, although using that simple bit of science, you can get a greasy image on 80 GSM paper with gum arabic and get it to a state where it will act as a printing plate. The act of transferring something that has already been printed onto another surface is photo transfer printing. The source materials can be any media that can be somehow manipulated to release from the original surface and bind to a new surface. The origins of transfer printmaking can be traced back to Robert Rauschenberg, though it is debatable whether he was the first to ever do a transfer. However, he is the first artist that documented his technique back in 1958. He discovered, probably by accident, that when soaked in a solvent, newsprint and newspaper photographs would transfer onto collages and paintings. This birthed the new branch of transfer printmaking and inspired generations of printmakers to find new ways to get things to transfer. Though it all started with newspaper clippings, the most common forms of transfer printmaking today involve photocopies or laser printer printouts. The techniques so far discovered seem to give the best result with these toner-based original copies. The reason for this lies in the nature of the toner itself. Toner is comprised mostly of carbon and polymers or waxes that are sensitive to electrostatic charges. Through a complex process, these charged particles are attracted to the paper and then fused to the paper under heat and pressure. The different transfer techniques use different approaches to undo this binding done by the polymer or waxes and create a new bond for the carbon pigment particles. The solvent method dissolves the polymer or waxes to release the carbon. This leaves no binding agent, so the carbon particles must be embedded in the new transfer surface. This dictates that the solvent transfer method be done with a porous receiving surface. Toothier papers and wood work well for this method. Its main drawback is the danger involved in using the powerful solvents required, either acetone or xylene. The thermal or pressure transfer basically reintroduces the original binding environment of the fuser in the printer or copier. It heats the binder to the point where they are fluid once again and ready to bind to a new surface. It requires that the receiving surface be hotter and stronger than the paper so that the binder or pigment can flow onto it and the paper is ripped away. This dictates that the receiving surface be something like metal or glass, which is probably one reason why this is an uncommon method. Robert Rauschenberg. Born in Texas, America on 22nd October 1925, artist and printmaker Robert Rauschenberg was born to fundamentalist Christians and was afflicted with dyslexia. At 16, Rauschenberg was admitted to the University of Texas, where he began studying pharmacy. He was drafted into the United States Navy in 1943. Based in California, he served as a mental hospital technician until his discharge in 1945. Rauschenberg studied in Kansas City Art Institute and the Académie Julian in Paris, France. Joseph Albers, a founder of Bauhaus, became Rauschenberg's painting instructor at Black Mountain. Albers' preliminary courses relied on strict discipline that did not allow for any uninfluenced experimentation. Rauschenberg described Albers as influencing him to do exactly the reverse of what he was being taught. After the stone-sensitive process, dry the stone carefully. From 1949 to 1952, Rauschenberg studied with Vaclav Vatailiak and Maurice Kantor at the Art Students League of New York, where he met fellow artists Knox Martin and Cy Twombly. Rauschenberg's approach was sometimes called Neo-Dadaist, a label he shared with the painter Jasper Johns. Rauschenberg was quoted as saying that he wanted to work in the gap between art and life, suggesting he questioned the distinction between art objects and everyday objects, reminiscent of the issues raised by the Fountain by Dada pioneer Marcel Duchamp At the same time, John's paintings of numerals, flags, and the like were reprising Duchamp's message of the role of the observer in creating art's meaning. Once the drawing is completed to satisfaction, rosin powder is first applied to the stone. After this, apply French chalk powder to the stone. Alternatively, in 1961, Rauschenberg took a step in what could be considered the opposite direction by championing the role of creator in creating art's meaning. Leave a space of 2 inches from all edges on all sides and mark the border of the stone. Now clean water is applied to the surface of the stone using a sponge gently. Next ink is applied with the help of a roller or brayer. Note that the first print will always be lighter. Before drawing directly on the stone, a photocopied, Xeroxed image of the design is kept on the stone. Design facing downwards, benzene or acetone is then applied to this paper and it is passed through the litho press. Images will transfer onto the stone in this way. Being to draw within the marked areas with the help of glass marking pencil or litho writing ink on the transferred image. Rauschenberg was invited to participate in an exhibition at the Gallery Iris Klart, where artists were to create and display a portrait of the owner, Iris Klart. Rauschenberg's submission consisted of a telegram sent to the gallery declaring, "This is a portrait of Iris Klart, if I say so." Following the concept of erasure in art, Rauschenberg in 1953 erased a drawing by de Kooning, which he obtained from his colleague for the express purpose of erasing it as an artistic statement. This result is titled Erased de Kooning Drawing. By 1962, Rauschenberg's paintings were beginning to incorporate not only found objects but found images as well. Photographs transferred to the canvas by means of the silk screen process. Previously used only in commercial applications, silk screen allowed Rauschenberg to address the multiple reproducibility of images and the consequent flattening of experience that implies. In this respect, this work is contemporaneous with that of Andy Warhol, and both Rauschenberg and Johns are frequently cited as important forerunners of American pop art. After half an hour, a liquid solution of gum arabic is applied on the stone and it is left standing for 24 hours. In 1966, Billy Kluwer and Rauschenberg officially launched Experiments in Art and Technology, EAT, a non-profit organization established to promote collaborations between artists and engineers. In 1969, NASA invited Rauschenberg to witness the launch of Apollo 11. In response to this landmark event, Rauschenberg created his Stone Moon series of lithographs. This involved combining diagrams and other images from NASA's archives with photographs from various media outlets, as well as his own works. Of 2003, he worked from his home and studio in Captiva, Florida. His first projection of Captiva Island was a 16.5 meter long silk screen print called Currents, 1970, made with newspaper from the first 2 months of the year, followed by Cardboards, 1970 to 71, and Early Egyptians, 1973 to 74. The later of which is a series of wall reliefs and sculptures constructed from used boxes. He also printed on textiles using his solvent transfer technique to make the Hoarfrost 1974 to 76 and Spraits 1975 to 82 and in the Jammers 1975 to 76 created a series of colorful silk wall and floor works. A washout solution is used on the stone surface to clean and remove the black remains of the drawing. Urban Bourbons 1988 to 95 focused on different methods of transferring images onto a variety of reflective metals such as steel and aluminium. In addition, throughout the 1990s, Rauschenberg continued to utilize new materials while still working with more rudimentary techniques, such as wet fresco, as in the Arcadian Retreat 1996 series, and the transfer of images by hand, as in the Anagrams 1995 to 2000. As part of his engagement with the latest technological innovations, he began making digital iris prints and using biodegradable vegetable dyes in his transfer processes, underscoring his commitment to caring for the environment. In particular, his series of works, which he called Combine, served as instances in which the delineated boundaries between art and sculpture were broken down so that both were present in a single work of art. Technically, Combines refers to Rauschenberg's work from 1954 to 1962, but the artist had begun collaging newsprint and photographic materials in his work, an impetus to combine both painting materials and everyday objects such as clothing, urban debris, and taxidermied animals such as in Monogram continued throughout his artistic life. In 1965, when Life magazine commissioned him to visualize a modern inferno, he did not hesitate to vent his rage at the Vietnam War and a whole range of horrors, including radical violence, neo-Nazism, political assassinations, and ecological disaster. On December 30, 1979, the Miami Herald printed 650,000 Rauschenbergs as the cover of its Sunday magazine, Tropic. In essence, an original lithograph, it showed images of South Florida. The artist signed 150 of them. An artist of insatiable curiosity and restless creativity, Robert Rauschenberg came to attention at the fertile juncture in American art as abstract expressionism wound down and pop art appeared. His aesthetic strategy embracing screen print on canvas, assemblage, set design, and performance is based on collage and juxtaposes objects and images from the everyday world to elicit their effects on each other and to stimulate an almost poetic response in the viewer. Rauschenberg's prints now number nearly 1,000, but he needed the cajoling of Tatiana Grossman to attempt printmaking. During the fledgling years of the now renowned publisher and printer Universal Limited Art Editions (ULAE), his daring use of lithography appeared early on, when the stone for accident broke in two while he was working on it. Undeterred, he retained a diagonal wide gash through the composition, recording this event. When Accident won first prize at the prestigious La Joblejana Graphic Biennial In 1963, it established Rauschenberg, ULAE, and American printmaking in the forefront as never before. Rauschenberg continues to work at ULAE. Among his projects of the 1980s was the Soviet-American Array series created for ROCI, Rauschenberg Overseas Culture in Interchange, and including his own photographs of New York and Moscow. His undertaking fostering cultural exchange in cities outside the usual contemporary art circuit reflects Rauschenberg's broad interest in social causes, expressed in numerous benefit prints over the years on subjects from ecology to world peace. Among his prints from other workshops, sheer technical audacity marks those produced at Gemini GEL. His first project there, a self-portrait entitled Booster, was the largest hand-pulled print to date in 1967. Preview, an editioned assemblage of printed imagery and collaged paper bags on silk, epitomizes his provocative imagination and extends the definition of printmaking far beyond the traditional handheld artwork on paper. Robert Rauschenberg died on 12 May 2008 at Florida, USA. Health and safety precaution. 1. Handle the acid drip bottle with care. Do not remove it from the designated area. Wear a face shield for protection and wash hands after handling bottle. Now refer to the chosen design and erase the portions as per the design. Now take another color on paper. Repeat this process as per the chosen color scheme. Mark the addition of the print. 2. If acid combines in contact with an eye, there is an eye wash station in the acid etching room. Run the water for 30 seconds to flush the unit. Hold eye open and wash eye for 15 minutes. Any eye injury should be examined by a physician. 3. Washing out of the image must occur under the ventilation hood. Mark the final registration for color print on paper. Take the final registration on litho machine. Take the final print on paper. 4. Wear gloves when using solvents to limit contact with skin. 5. Use volatile solvents like denatured alcohol and lacquer thinner sparingly. 6. First clean up ink on slabs with razor scraper before using solvent. 7. Scrap excess ink into residual container. Usable ink can be put back in can. 8. Dispose of rags in red safety container. 9. To avoid injury, use a proper technique demonstrated by the teacher when moving and carrying lithography stones. Write all the details of the print like date and signature.